everyone, welcome back. Always good to see you. Angela here, of course, and it's a Friday. Time for a little video. I hope you're all excited to do this little project today. We're going to make a little center spread for the middle of our signature, and I always love doing a center spread. It's one I've done a very long time ago, but an oldie but a goodie is what I like to say. If you're new to my channel, of course, I would like to say a very warm welcome. It's lovely to have you join me, and I hope that you find lots of inspiration to use in your own journals. All right, let's get started, everyone, and put on my glasses because... Okay, so I'm going to use the signature here. I'm going straight to the middle, and we have a nice lace page in the middle. And we're going to use this to put our signature on. I'm going to take that off. That's the one we did last time. Isn't that pretty? Right, I'm going to just put this one to the side here. Oops, I'm picking up too many pages. And let's just put that up over there. Okay, now this is what we're going to work on, and that'll go back into our signature. These are the pages that I'm using for the project today. So what I've got here is I'm using background pages. So I've got this one that is part of my Spring Splendor kit, as you know. I'm going to make pockets out of that, so that's the one. And then these two are from my background pages from my Spring Splendor background page kit, because there were 19 different background pages I did separately. So what I've done, I've got the lovely green swirls and the pink flower print, and I have printed the same on each side. So I have just double-sided them. If you aren't able to double-side print, or you don't have a printer, you can use a piece of paper that's the same kind of colors, or whatever theme you're working in, of course, and stick it on the other sides. It's not the end of the world. All right, so we're going to need 2 pieces of paper. I'm going to work on a US letter length, which is 11 inches, and I will give you measurements to cut this down, so it won't be even as long as 11 inches. So it doesn't matter what size paper you're going to use. All right, now let's start at the beginning. A good place to start, isn't it? So I'm going to make some little pockets out of this. So I'm just going to put that to the side quickly. Some of the things you want to gather, you're going to need something to tie these bits together. So this is a thin, this is a taffeta ribbon, but any ribbon that you've got that's pretty narrow, or anything that you have. I'm using a little bit of rickrack just for some decoration. I did go and fussy cut out a couple of my flowers from, do you remember my floral fussy cuts? I think I've got some, yeah, I've got them over here. So I printed 2 to a page. You can see these are a lovely digital, and because we're using spring, I thought, yeah, let me grab those pages I see lurking over there. So I grabbed those and cut out a few just for some decoration. I've got a butterfly I found in one of my kits. I'm using a couple of sentiments, and then here's another one. Do you remember when I made these little butterflies out of flowers, and I mounted one on a paper clip? I think I might try using some of those as well, but any sort of embellishments that you want to use. And then, yeah, what else do we want? I've shown you the sentiments. I might go with a couple of flowers. I've pulled them out here, or the other ones, you know. So I have pulled those out. And die cuts, I've got my die cuts in front of me here as well. So if I just move that out the way, I've got a couple of die cuts in here as well, so I might use some of those. Okay, ephemera wise, this is what I'm using. I'm using these 2 pieces. They're going to go into pockets. I've got these which are going to go into the center piece. So I've got a large postcard. These 3 are going to go together. So you want to just grab some ephemera. I've cut these from a mini page. Mini page is 2 of the journal pages on 1 page. I cut the page in half and then in quarters, so that I've then backed these onto the lace paper. and made 2 cards like that. So that's that. And then a lot of ephemera in here, and then 2 large tags. All right, so that's the short and tall of it all. And we can get started now. I had to do myself a little map so I could remember to tell you what we're going to do. Right, so the first thing you want to do is take one of these 2 sheets, and you need 2 of these. All right, so whichever type of design you're choosing. I'm just going to put that to the side. Right, so take these one by one. You can use your trimmer or whatever you want to do so. What I need to grab is probably my longer ruler. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to sort out the width. Okay, so that's going to be 7.5 inches. Now 7.5 inches in centimeters is 19 centimeters. All right, so we want to do that first of all. So I'm going to just turn it this way. Probably be easier. Hang on to that. Always great to hang on to that. So that's the first one. And then you want to do this side. You want to, I think it was 10 3/4. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the bits that I want. So starting on your right hand side, I want to measure 3 inches, which also equates to 7.5 centimeters. All right. And at that point, I'm going to make a score mark. That's the first one, 3 inches or 7.5. Then from that line, further onwards, you want to measure 4 inches. So that would be 10 centimeters. Okay. So that's what that is there. So we've now gone 7 inches in. Right, so we'll do that. And then the last little bit is 3 3/4 inches. 3 3/4 inches. So that is over here. Okay. Now with me, because I've got an 11 3/4 inch page, I'm effectively cutting off an inch. But if you have got a US letter size, you're only cutting off 1/4 inch. Do that for both sheets of paper. All right, so let me do that with the other one. Okay, I thought I'd better talk you through the second one just so that you know. Right, first of all, just to make sure you've got both pieces of paper the same width, tap them together and put them down. And then my paper's the 160 GSM. I'm just making a mark on the border with my pencil of where I need to cut off. So that's the first thing. All right, now I have put the 2 pink sides together, and there's a reason for that in a moment. So I can really quickly rest assured now that these 2 pieces of paper will be the same size, and they need to be. So if your trimmer takes 2 sheets of paper, your paper trimmer, then that's great. All right, so hang on to your scraps. You never know. There's always a reason to use them. Okay, now we did 3 inches, 4 inches, and we were left with 3 3/4. Now what I want to do is pink sides together. You want to do that on the other side. All right, so we're mirroring it. So again, we want 3 inches, 4 inches, and then whatever's remaining should be right. Okay, so just to ensure that we've got that right, I'm lining it up here, and I'm just using my board as a guide, which I find easy for me. But everybody's different, of course, so do what's right for you. Right, so that's the 3 inches. 4 inches, and then that should be, what did I say, 3 3/4. It is. Okay, so we're ready to go. Now, because we've got the pink sides together, this, when it opens up now, will be exactly right. Okay, so you want the same pattern on the inside. Right, so what I want to do is I'm going to fold the first one on that line we've just made. Yeah, like that. And then we are going to open that up and we're going to fold this one back on itself like that. Okay, here we go. We want to do that like that. Now we want to do face this over. So get your 3-inch on the left now and fold that up. Make sure it's lining up there like that. Okay, and then this one you want to fold it back on itself. So there's the line. Here we go. All right, so we effectively are going to have this. Yeah, now on the wider flap, the 3 3/4 inch flap, I want you just to take your pencil and measure 3.5 inches from the top here and make a little pencil mark. Yeah, that is the mark that we are going to fold in. All right, so at that mark there, I'm just mindful of it. I want to turn this in like that. Okay, so that you have a pocket like that. Right, 3.5 inches. Just take my little pencil mark, rub it off. Okay, and then you want to do that on this side as well. Yeah, so at the edge there, you want a little pencil mark. You can just see it there. And then I'm looking for the pencil mark. And then I'm just folding that in. And just burnish it like that. All right, so you've got that effect there and that effect there. All right, how's that sound? Now I'm using the 160 GSM paper like I always do, because you need it to be a little bit robust. If you're going to use copier paper, you'll need to reinforce. We are going to make little holes in this. All right, so I want to just grab my glue quickly. And what I want to do here is stick this flap down. Now you can cut it off if you want. You can do that and use it as a pocket. But I'm going to have square pockets. So whatever suits you. Always like to glue the bits down because I like the reinforced edge. So there we go. So we've got that there. And now while we add it, we can lightly distress that edge there, and we can then go and stick that down. So I'm sticking some glue, I'm making a pocket, so I'm putting some glue on the edge here and on that bottom edge here. There we go. Now we're good to go. We can stick that down along there and up there. Okay, so we've made a little pocket now. Right, so same on the other side. First of all, you want to stick down this bit here, or cut it off, whatever you prefer. I like the pink and the green. It reminds me of ice cream. It does. I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I remember all those Neapolitan beautiful soft coloured ice creams. And I love the colours even back in the day, you know, the soft colours. Right, so you got one over there and one over there. We're getting it done. Okay. Now, I just want to give this a little bit of a distress ink at the top. Now, there are lots of variations on this that I can think of, but, you know, you can work with this idea and add different things to it. But I like the way it works in a journal. And I did this in my baking journal, which was, gosh, I think 2 years ago now. I do like how it turns out. All right, so you've got all that ready to go. Now, I think what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to stick this down into my book, my journal page. Right, so here's the journal page we're going to use, and I love that lace background. Right, I'm going to stick these down on here. Okie dokie, I am back. Oh, there's the glue pin. Okay, so we've got these two bits here. Now, what I want to do is I've grabbed my eyelet. You can use a paper punch. You know, this is going to work. If you don't have a crocodile, use a normal paper punch and just use it on the one corner by looking underneath. You can also make your own ring reinforcers if you don't have an eyelet setter or crocodile. All right, so there's that as well. What I'm going to do now is I want to just put these two together like this, and at the top here, I'm just getting these together, and I think I must just grab a little clip here. Just a little clip. Just to keep them aligned like that. And then I'm going to, with my crocodile, I'm going to just make a hole at the top here. About there. Alright, and I'm going to turn it around and do the same through both pieces, that is. Yeah. Like that. Right. Now you can put paper to reinforce it. It's up to you. I'm not going to. I'm doing that before, and the one I've done before held up really well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put eyelets in mine, or put your paper reinforcers rings on if you you know, you can buy them in paper and color them, or make your own with a small 3/4 of an inch circle punch and a paper punch. You can do that as well. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to just take these and set these quickly. Right, so that's 1, 2, and the right side is the green side for me. So just work out that you are putting it in the right way. Right, so as you can see, the pink side is the inside and the green side is the outside. Okay, so I'm just putting those two on. I'm using these nice copper ones. I buy the Draper's eyelets, which I've always used, and I love that they come in the 3 colors. Those are the colors I use the most. So, yeah. They are perfect. They're on my Amazon favorite tools list, and everything I use is on there if you're interested in knowing what it is that I use. Alright, so we've got that there. I just want to squeeze that one a bit more. Right, so we've got that bit done. We're good to go. We're good to go. I think what the last thing I want to do is I'm just doing everything that is going to be problematic or fiddly before I stick these down. And I think I'm going to just put some lace on the green bit here. Alright, so I'm using this lace from my lace bundle. You can use any lace you have, and I think I'm going to just run that down the middle there, but probably that way, something like that. Yeah, and then I'm going to add some stuff to that. So let's get that down. So we want 2 of these. I've made it ever so slightly longer just so that I've got room to trim. I'm just getting a straight line going here. just for the initial bit, so that I can see where I need to go. All right, so let's grab this then and stick it on. Right, and the same for the other side. Right, so we've got both of those done. And then I've got these 2 sentiments I showed you earlier. So spring, we've missed you, gosh. Always so happy when spring has arrived. It's such a beautiful time of the year and definitely my favourite season. I mean, I do enjoy all the seasons. Autumn's beautiful, summer's lovely to be outside, and winter's cozy. So, you know, every season I embrace what it brings me. And I sort of behave a little differently in my activities and things that I do. So yeah, I just love them all, but spring's my favourite. I had a busy day yesterday. I worked all day and managed to get home from the post office at about 6:30. And then after working from, you know, the crack of dawn till then, I suddenly got a bee in my bonnet and decided, right, it's a beautiful evening, not too hot, and the grass is dry. I'm going to go and tackle the garden. And I spent 2 hours refurbishing and tidying up in my garden. Now these are those little flowers that I'm going to stick on there, and before I get talking away, and these I'm going to stick over here. So that's going to just pull in the greens and the pinks, which I love. Right, so let's do that. Yes, so my garden's looking, I don't have a big garden. I've got a really little garden. It's just big enough for me to sit outside. It's probably no more than 10 meters in width, and probably, what, 6 or 7 meters in, no, 10 meters in length and about 6 or 7 in width, and then the side of the house as well. So it's not big, but it's ample for Abby and I. Can sit out there with the table and chairs. I do have a hot tub under a gazebo, which is lovely in the summer when it's hot. Nobody can see me and then I need to cool off. I don't always, I mean, I just like going in there to cool off more than putting it on the heat, but we do put it on. So that's it really. I've got my little shed for my garden tools, and that's about it really. But I got my lovely tree and a beautiful hedge, and I just love feeding the birds and watching everybody do their thing in the morning, animal-wise now, with the little mice underneath where the birds feed, gathering everything that they drop. And birds are messy feeders, if you've seen them, the wild birds. So yeah, it is quite entertaining. But yeah, I do thoroughly enjoy it. And so this morning I had my first cup of, I drink coffee in the morning first thing, and then the rest of the day I drink tea. But I like my coffee in the morning, so Abby came and, well, I thought she was going to join me because she would normally come and sit on my lap, but no, she looked at it and decided no, she's going back inside. But it was a bit fresh, but because it was early-ish, but it was lovely and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm so glad that I spent all that time mowing and weed eat, you know, strimming and all the things, pulling out weeds and raking. It took me 2 hours, trimmed the tree a little bit. It was quite an audition. Well, not audition, it was quite a expedition almost. You know, there was a lot of bindweed and all sorts going on, but I prevailed. So I'm very, very happy with myself today. Right, so I've got those bits there, and I think the time has come now where I'm going to attach this. So what we want to do is we want to use that fold line here to be very aware of the fold line of your signature. I'm going to just burnish this a little bit here, just so that we're very clear. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. Now this fold line you want to, first of all, make sure you've got the right measurement there and there. Here's the fold line, and I'm going to draw it in pencil, purely because I'm not sure you can see, but also so I can see, because it's quite pale and we're not going to see it. So I'm going to just do it where I know I'm not going to see it. So hopefully that's clearer for you. Right, so there's that line, and we are talking about 1/16 of an inch. I'm going to be staying away from it. All right. Now I am also going to draw a line this way, because once I've got the glue on, I want to be decisive and get it down. So I'm just gauging the distance here, and I think it's about here. So this is just my placement line. And while I'm at it, because I want them to be lined up, I'm going to extend that line there as well. All right, now we're good to go. Good to go. So just make sure you've got these the right way and you haven't stuck one of your flowers, you know, that up there or whatever, because that can happen. Okay, now what we want to do is you want to fold that back. Okay, when we place it, we're going to be 1/16 of an inch. So I'm going to make a little mark here so you can see, you know, really a couple of millimeters. Okay, now we'll get to that because we're not sticking any of this. But what we want to do is we want to make this a pocket. Okay, so we want to go glue. Let's turn it that way. Always put your hand on the side you don't want to glue. That's my way of remembering. Okay, so I want to run the glue just here. And don't be shy with the glue. All right. You want to do it on that side, like that. And then along the length here. Turn it over. And now, thank heavens, you've got all your lines. And you can start placing them against those lines. Okay, now I'm looking for that little line that I made there, and you want it straight as well. Yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, bit of glue on my fingers, that's okay. All right, so just run your finger along those glued sections. Now you got an opening there. Okay, we've still got our line, and then we're going to do the same with this one. So fold that back. So the side I want to have as a pocket is this side, so I'm going to just hold that there and get the glue on again. Right, so now turn it round. Remember your line and your line. So I'm going to go there first, and then I'm going to line it up there. Right, we're good to go. Now, by putting those lines in, you know that they are going to match on both sides. So there's no worries there. All right, so just press that down. Now, while that's doing its drying thing, I'm going to make the little pockets to go on here, and then we're pretty much done. All right, so what I've done is I took that paper and I've cut 4 inches, 10 centimeters by 3, I think. Yeah, so that's 10 by 7.5 centimeters or 4 by 3 inches. And what I'm going to do here is I want to make some score lines. So 1/2 inch on each side. 1/2 inch is about 12 mil. So 1 down there, 1 down there, and like that. All right, and the same with this. And then you want to cut to the corner where they join and slightly off center. Yeah, and that's how easy it is to make these pockets. Any size you want. Okay, great to do and have a pile of these on hand, ready to go with any project from leftover paper. So you just want to fold those bits in now, and that one in like that. There you've got a little pocket. You can make your score lines narrower if you're comfortable doing that. You know, it doesn't have to be 1/2 inch, it can be 1/4 of an inch. It's just up to you. Right, so we've got these now ready to go. Just a little bit of, oops, I thought it was going to land on the floor. There we go. And this side as well. Gosh, it's a lovely day. And I'm not moaning about that at all. Right, with my little bit of rickrack, I'm just going to run a little piece across each of these. So again, I want to just open those up there, and I'm going to do it on the side of this one. With the dots, it gives me a sort of guide to make a straight enough line. Right, so let's just take our rickrack here, and we can go straight across. You don't have to, you can cut it off. Might be too bulky and I might have to cut it off, who knows. We'll see. Okay, so we've got that. And then we want to do the same with this one. I do like the pink with the green. Okie doke, so that's going to go just there, like that. And the other one's going to go on the other side. Alright, so I've stuck those two down, and now I'm going to take my die cuts. I'm going to use this pink one, and I'm going to just slide it in there, the side of the pocket, and stick it down like that. Yeah, and then I've got this lovely green one, and I'm going to do the same, slide it in there and get it to stick up there. So really easy. Then the butterflies that I showed you, I'm going to stick one on each side. So these are left over, so I think one's slightly bigger than the other, but that's okay. You got to use what you have. Okay, so looking really pretty. Press it down. Okay, good. So we've got all that stuff done, and we've got our two pockets there. Now all that I want to do is I want to take my little ribbon, and I'm going to thread some in this section here. So we want to do that. Put through both of these. Right, let's just make this first, the little section, and I'm no good at doing this on camera. I start overthinking it. Make little bows like that, and then we can just angle that and angle this. There we go. And then you want to turn this around the other way and do the same. There we go. I'm happy with that. Right, that's the right way. So you see, when it's going to lie like that, it'll lie like that, and when we close it in our book, it's going to lie flat. How sweet is that? Right, let's zhuzh it all up. Let's take our large tag. So we're going to put that one in there, and then this one in here. How cute is that? Oh, it's so girly, this. I love it. Right, these little ones are for the little pockets. So got that little one in there, and that little one in there. There we go. And then the middle bit here, we have our little postcard that I've added a little tab to. That goes, I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do that one this way. And then I've got two little other ones that I'm going to have one there and one there. Right, so you've got something on each side. And then these cards here I made especially, I love that house, to go in there. Isn't that a lot of nice secret space to put into your journal? There we go. And that's it. So that will just slip into the signature again, into the middle of our journal. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, Angela, that's all and well, but how are you going to sew that into your journal? Well, we have bows here and they can undo. So when you are going to sew this into your journal, you can just undo those bows and clip those back, take your ephemera out, and then you will see you've got about an eighth of an inch where you can sew this in, and when you finish sewing it in, you can tie those bows up again. All right, so there we go. How pretty is that? I hope that has warmed up your day. If you're having bad weather or you're feeling chilly, if you're living in the southern hemisphere or even sometimes in the north, go and give that a go. It wasn't too difficult and really a lot of fun to make, and one of my favorite centerfolds to do. Well, I last did it, I think, 2 years ago. It's over 2 years ago now, because I made that journal in the January, February 2 years ago. All right, everyone, go and have a wonderful weekend. I will be seeing you again on Sunday. I've got a really quick and easy project that we're going to make with a mailer, so go grab one, a thin mailer. It doesn't need to have a pocket. A window. And I'll see you on Sunday. Take good care of yourselves. Oh, don't forget, I've got an Etsy sale and a website sale on digitals and things, so go and take a look. See you all on Sunday. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.